Hi, I'm Laurie Wheeler, and welcome. I am grateful that you're here today. We're just doing this right after Thanksgiving. So we're coming off of, or coming into, or both, of a time of gratitude. And this is something that we should have every day. We should be thinking about every day. But we do deem this particular time of the year, which helps us actually put it on the map so that we think about it. But gratitude is one way, a very important way, that we up-level ourselves, that we come into higher frequency, because you're not feeling two feelings or thoughts at the same time. One is going to take precedence over the other, and that's the energy that will go out. So again, thanks for being here, and we have a couple themes this month coming up, and the first one is blazing the trail. Now, it's always interesting the particular words that are spoken to me, and I really pay attention to that because I love them. They're not words that I would use all the time. So when we're talking about blazing the trail for what lies ahead, we're talking about this is fierce, this is large, this is big. So blazing the trail into new adventures and coming out of our old way. In other words, full steam ahead, no holes barred. Do it. There's no excuse, no reason, nothing holding us back. We need to step, push, move forward. This time coming up is rich with energy that will bless us, actually. This energy, this light that's coming in, it's in conjunction with what we desire for ourselves. So we will be blessed, you will be blessed to create. But be sure of what you want. This is very important. So many of us, most of us, and from time to time, I'm sure all of us, have had some type of tunnel vision. And when I say that, we get up in the morning, we do our normal things, sometimes really without thinking about it. So we're thinking like this, we're just moving ahead within this confined space, without really considering what we want. So, some of us, we may have a coffee or a tea, but, it's kind of like this. Somebody may ask you, well, what do you think? Or what do you like? Or whatever the question is. Or what might you want in the morning? Maybe you want to change that up a little. So stop and really consider what you want. This is very important because this is the energy that is going out, that will be blessing you, that will be co-creating with you. And the other aspect to this is, and this became very apparent coming in this energy of this particular type of thought, to look both ways before moving. So this is, it's going to be individual for you. I'm not sure exactly how that will show up in your life, but definitely it's kind of like when you stand at the edge of a street or a crosswalk or something, and you stand, and then if the light just says go, you go. But what the energy is asking, what I have been guided to share with you through Megalithicon, is to look both ways before moving. So that's very important and apparent for blazing the trail, okay? We don't want to just plow, we want to look both ways before we plow. Okay, and I kind of think it's interesting that some of us, and I'm in Colorado, some of us are actually experiencing quite a bit of snow. So it's really important to think in this term. So looking at ways to create abundant living is very important right now for us. And so it doesn't mean just monetarily, it means what does abundance mean for you? So this is something to take some time to consider. what is that in my life for me? Abundance. A great amount of love, friendship, compassion. What creates, or what do you want to create? Abundant living. How do you want to create that? So also, I'm being reminded to tell you to listen to the subtle guidance that's going on for you. So I've had a couple issues this month, just very tiny little issues, where what happens for me is I'll get a little sense before I have to go somewhere or do something, and I'll get a feeling like, oh, take a scarf. And I'll say, well, what do I need a scarf for? I'm going to be in the car the whole time. And then later on, something occurs and I have to be outside, and I'm thinking, that's why I was reminded to bring a scarf. So pay attention to the very subtle guidance, and don't, what I call poo-poo it. Don't push it aside. Listen to it, because it's there guiding you. And if you're pushing the little things away, then you don't want to be pushing the bigger things away, okay? So look for it, ask for it. They want you to be in relationship with them, those who guide. Your higher self wants to be in relationship with you. It is the part that remains in your energy, or it is your energy that remains in the energy field. And the idea of it is always in connection to all that is, it has a greater viewpoint than maybe you through your own brain. And we do need to balance our brain with our guidance. But so don't hear me say that I'm telling you use one and not the other. Both are very important for us. So another thing that comes up this upcoming month for December is honesty. And I think that's pretty interesting, that it plays a role coming up in so many different aspects of our life. So expect that you'll be called into it to create more honesty for your life, whether it be that you're asking it of others or whether that you yourself need to be more honest. And I guess I get that this has to do with being honest with yourself, being true to yourself. So, this is a month of holiday, and we'll be out with other people. And so when you think about honesty, how are you showing up for other people? How are you presenting yourself? What does that look like? So if you would be one way, maybe this season, think about being a little bit more what is right for you. So how are you showing up in the world? And this is a great month to not only project that, but really keep an eye on it for yourself. And also, are you using your gifts? So this is a time of gift giving, but we can think of gifts in a different way. So allow yourself to think about those gifts. Maybe you're coming into something new that is a bit challenging or is not as comfortable as you have been in your living before. So be mindful around all of this. And also, what I'm hearing is allow yourself to bring in a little bit more of your vulnerability. In other words, show up where it may not have been quite as comfortable before. Can you allow yourself to sustain an open heart? Sometimes we open our heart, and that raises our frequency, of course, and then something will occur and it may cause us to close up. And so if that's our natural reaction, then begin to explore this for yourself, as this may be a pattern. And so Mega is asking to reconsider why you're feeling as vulnerable as you may be. So bring that forward a little bit for yourself, because we will be amongst certain situations this month that maybe aren't our usual situations. We'll be with family. I often believe that anytime we're called back into a family situation, this oftentimes is where we create a lot of our patterning from when we're very young. And so if we're carrying a certain pattern or a certain woundology, it may be time to look at that for yourself, and coming back into the family brings that opportunity. So being asked at this point, maybe don't close up on the wound, okay? Allow it to be open. Allow yourself to be open. Allow the pattern, the perception of the pattern to shift just ever so slightly, so that you may take 3 degrees difference of a perspective. Okay, and then another theme for this upcoming month is justice. And I thought, justice, wow, what's this about? And that has a lot to do with what we're receiving is what we're really needing at this point. It's what's helping us to grow. And this is sort of on the heels of this honesty. And in some way, as you may know or that you remember, everything that's going on, you're inviting in some way through some type of energetic structure. And so it can be either through genetics and ancestors, again, having to do with holidays, we're with family oftentimes, or old friends or such. And so we're wanting to shift and heal this, and possibly even through some thoughts that we need to be aware of, and clearing away what are our distortions within that concept. We may be carrying it so long that we have this bit of a tunnel vision the way we view it. So it's asking us, can we step outside of that a little bit? Can we open that up a little bit? And so that is happening this month, and I think this is the perfect month to explore these options and ideas for us. This is a very important little snippet that was given to me in a channeling somewhere along this month, and I want to share it with you. I love it because it really makes me dig in deep and think about it, okay? So it says, between the stimulus and your response, there is a space. Now, that's not something we even think about, but there's a space. And in that space is our power to choose our response. It could be a moment. It may not even be that you're aware of it. In our responsibilities is our growth and our freedom within this space. So I think this is a very powerful thought, and I love this, and it makes me want to dive in and really explore that and think about it and own it, and how can I shift it? How can I create what I'm really looking to create for my life? So I'm happy to share that with you. And then something I would like to share also, and I'm not sure if I've mentioned this or not, but I have a great opportunity to be working with a scientist at this point, and we are looking at what types of things affect DNA. So how can we, either DNA gets affected in a negative or a positive way through energy, and how can we raise frequency, and what raises the frequency so that it affects DNA in a positive way. And so I'll be talking more about this in the upcoming months to share this information and what the findings are. But I just leave you with this because of what I've talked about this month. And no, we all have DNA. We think of it that we have only 2 strands, but it's not really true. What I'm coming to understand more and more is that we have more than 2 strands. That we actually, it continues to expand our strands. So this is what science can prove at this point, but energetically we have many, many, many more. So what I've actually been able to see is more than 2 strands energetically, and the effects that are going on with the DNA and the markers that are on our DNA. And I've been able to see the different levels of energy patterns, frequencies, so working all the way down at AC/DC, and then to the EMF, electromagnetic frequency, and then up to the scalar, and then beyond is quantum. And I've been able to see all these levels and the effect and what it looks like energetically and how it's affecting this DNA. And I can't wait to share more with you about it because it's quite fascinating, and happy to be a part of it so that I can share with you what may be helping all of us, all of humanity, in raising our frequency, and that we're able to sustain that. And not only that, but like I say, in the DNA, changing that which is needing to be illuminated, needing to be remembered. And more than 2 strands, we're knowing that there is much more, up to 144 and beyond, and it continues to expand. So looking forward to sharing this information in further time together. So that's it for December. I hope you'll keep these thoughts with you, and I wish for you much happiness and peace and expanded amounts of love and light for this season and beyond. Many blessings to you. I'll see you next time.